Hey there, toy fans. Welcome back to Talk Action Figures. I'm Josh.
And I'm Chipper.
And in this episode, we're going to interview Brian Stoodley. We're going to take a look at his amazing toy collection as well as his awesome toy photography. Barry, what are you doing?
Oh, well, I was just doing some stop-motion photography to tie into our interview.
Wait, are we supposed to prepare for these things?
Well, that's great, Barry, but this is a terrible place to set up for stop motion. It's going to take forever, and we're trying to film a show here.
Oh, come on, I already set up the scene.
Barry, just take it downstairs.
Oh,
Give me that!
No, it's mine.
Bye!
Barry!
No!
I wanna know what you've been hunting, what's your holy grail? I wanna know about the cool thing you got in the mail. I wanna see your whole collection or your latest haul. And I want a spot where we can talk about it all. I wanna talk action figures, why you collect action figures like you'd expect. Guess it figures, the show is called Talk Action Figures.
All I'm saying is that you need to try a little harder and he needs to stay downstairs.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
Well, could you at least patch me through to Brian, please?
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Hi, Brian.
Welcome to the show!
Hey Josh, hey Chipper, how are you?
Well, I can't complain.
Really? I can.
Chipper, you're looking good? Looking good.
Aw, thanks, Brian. You know how to make a bot blush.
Hey, no flirting with the guests.
Ooh, are we flirting up here?
Barry, downstairs.
Hey, Brian, why don't you introduce yourself?
My name's Brian Stoodley. I live in Aurora, Colorado, and I'm a toy photographer and a toy collector.
Oh, you're from Aurora. That's really cool. I actually got married in Denver.
He doesn't care.
Well, you don't know. He might. So, Brian, is there a favorite job you've had or project you've
favorite
worked
job.
on that relates to collecting?
My favorite job? Well, that's a pretty easy one. When I was living in Los Angeles, I was lucky enough to get an internship, a camera apprentice, I was called, at a place in Burbank that does stop-motion animation called Stupid Buddy Studios. And you might know them from Robot Chicken. They do a lot of things. But the show that I worked on was called Buddy Thunderstruck. It's on Netflix. I had absolutely no idea what I was doing when I got this job. I went to film school, for editing, and this was a camera crew job. I think I just got it because I was really enthusiastic. I thought it was like the biggest, dream job I could ever have. And to a degree, I was right. So I got in there and was basically just learning how to use a camera, how their lighting setup worked, and throughout the course of working on the show, was involved with some pretty cool shots that I can look at now and just look and feel very proud of, and it definitely taught me a lot, especially about photography.
That's awesome. Could I put you down as a reference? I've been applying at Stupid Buddy.
Wait, what?
Well, I figure if Barry's gonna go work there, he must have heard the pay's better or something.
Oh, sure, yeah, Barry's gonna get another job. Barry, get up here.
Oh, am I allowed upstairs now?
Are you looking for other jobs?
Are you gonna start paying more?
I don't pay you at all.
Well, then why are you surprised?
Well, he's got a point.
Brian, could you tell us what you collect while I try to stifle the mutiny going on?
Well, I should say before I tell you what I collect that I am 37 years old. Hopefully that'll sort of give you some sort of idea as to where this is all rooted in. The first thing I started collecting, or the first toys that I got or can remember getting as a kid, were Masters of the Universe. One Christmas I was brought upstairs to Castle Grayskull, Snake Mountain, and over a dozen figures just set up at my grandma's house. And it's one of two Christmases that I'll never forget. But I still have a couple of those toys. Barely, but I still have a couple of those, which then extended to me having interest in Masters of the Universe classics. It is an amazing line, sculpted by the Four Horsemen. Four Horsemen also make a line that I collect called Mythic Legions, which is all, you know, fantasy, sword and shield, very, very cool stuff. I've got some Ninja Turtles. I've got G.I. Joes. G.I. Joes ranging anywhere from when I started collecting early 90s to you know, the newer lines that they came out with. Still 3 3/4 inch, but you know, some really, really cool figures and vehicles in that line. Also for, you know, Ninja Turtles as well, obviously I have some of the old ones, but you know, there have been so many incarnations of Ninja Turtles popping up throughout the years that you can't help yourself but grab a few here and there. And then, you know, you also get into NECA and their horror line. You know, they have a lot of things that I sort of cherry pick. Oddly enough, my favorite movie is Evil Dead 2, so I have a lot of Evil Dead figures. Deadites, but also, you know, some of the creepy stuff. Obviously, got to have a Predator, you got to have an Alien, you got to have Kevin McAllister. NECA makes some really, really, really cool stuff, but unfortunately, they're not the largest part of my collection. Largest part, and what really got me back into toy collecting again, is Marvel Legends. Say probably 2016, 2017, I really started to go hard, real hard at Marvel Legends. Spent way too much money, would buy anything on the shelf, because they're amazing toys, and compared to what they were, you know, their 6-inch counterparts out there in the market were pretty reasonably priced. My first one I got was Gwen Stacy. And just when I saw, even, you know, even as limited in articulation as some of the female characters are for Marvel Legends, I was blown away by what she could do, and so I was just hooked. Since, I'd say maybe like a year ago, I've backed down a little bit. I pretty much have everything that I want from Marvel Legends, cherry picking a few things here and there. Yeah, that is my collection, and it's all inspired from 80s or 90s nostalgia. It's rare that you're going to find something or a property that is from, you know, this century in here, but that's, you know, my favorite part about toy collecting is that it makes me feel good. You know, I had a good childhood, and I was spoiled rotten, and I will admit that, but I have a lot of great memories with a lot of these properties, and whenever I'm surrounded by stuff like this, it makes me feel happy. It takes me back, makes me feel happy, and that's why I collect what I collect.
That's great, Brian, and I think you're right. I think that's the reason a lot of us collect. That's what I love about your collection. It's like a best of the best of our childhood.
Wait, you two grew up together?
No, I mean people of a certain age.
Oh, you mean old.
Josh, I'm here to hand in my 2 weeks' notice.
Yes! Finally!
Wait a second, you got the job at Stupid Buddy?
Well, I sent them my reel. It's only a matter of time.
Talk about stupid, buddy.
Real? What are you talking about, Barry?
Oh, just the stop-motion video that I was Distracting you with? I figure if I'm not wanted here, I'll just take my talents elsewhere.
Makes sense. Let me know if you need help packing.
Chipper. No, Barry, we want you to stay. I mean, would it help if we let you show your stop motion video?
Oh boy, I thought you'd never ask.
Oh, brother. Here we go.
Shh, it's showtime.
Finally, my own Castle Grayskull, haha!
Not so fast, Skeletor.
He-Man, what are you doing here?
You know I can never let the power of Grayskull fall into your hands.
What? You know this is a toy, right? I mean, I know you're stupid, but even—
Not today,
Hey,
Bullhead.
I paid $70 for that!
Skeletor learned an important lesson
I
today.
learned that He-Man's an asshole!
That was awful.
Lee, interesting. That was awfully interesting, Barry.
Thanks. But if I'm gonna stick around, I want to have more responsibility.
Well, you could write one of the segments if you like.
Okay, I want to write Collector's Crotch.
We don't call it that anymore.
Well, I think we should. It's confusing to keep changing the name back and forth.
Fine, yeah. You can write a collector's crotch.
Gee, thanks. I'll get right on it. Don't worry, I won't let you down.
Should someone tell him we're not going to do segments after the interviews anymore?
Nah, he'll figure it out. Why don't you ask the next question?
Hey, Brian, what would you say is your favorite toy in your collection?
The favorite thing in my collection, well, this answer is going to be a cheat. It's not one thing, it's two things. It's my wagons. I've got two wagons I'm very proud of. I've got the party wagon, my original party wagon from when I was growing up. And I have got the G.I. Joe Battle Wagon. I think I want to say it's from like 92 or 93. These two vehicles were a huge part of my upbringing. And they probably still have dirt on them from when I was a kid. Brought them outside, got real nasty with them.
Oh yeah.
You know, played with them.
Oh, I know.
And I just cherish the memories I have with them. I'm just very fortunate to still have them. You know, when I'm going through my collection, there's a lot of things that, you know, I can remember having that I don't anymore. I'm sure maybe some people can relate. You know, there's a time in your life maybe you don't care about figures so much, you lose some, you might break some. You get older, some people might steal some, an ex might sell some. All of these things have happened.
Ooh, that got dark. Brian, do you need a hug?
It's very relatable. We all might need a hug.
I offered to hug Brian.
So, to have both wagons still pretty much complete, there's a couple pieces missing here and there. Things have broken off, but like I've still got all of the missiles for the battle wagon, which I'm proud of. And I have to thank my dad for that because he kept it in shape while I was, you know, in my late teens, early 20s. So yeah, those are my two favorites. They're not technically action figures though, so if you're asking me what my favorite action figure is,
I think you're on your third favorite thing now.
I'll allow it.
it's gonna be Masters of the Universe Classics Mantenna. When I first started like trying to desperately get a hold of some of this line that I missed out on, I saw this Mantenna figure and it just blew my mind. The articulation, the four legs, the colors, everything. Mantenna was, I loved Mantenna when I was a kid. Probably one of my favorite just toys in general. So to have both of them and have this beautifully sculpted and produced figure, I look at it and I feel, you know, like 4 or 5 years old. Like this thing is just absolutely amazing to me. It's my favorite. And the eyeballs. How cool are the eyeballs?
Ew, they're gross.
No, they're awesome. I mean, you can swap them out to simulate the action feature from the original toy. It's really cool.
They both creep me out.
That's the point. Never mind. So, Brian, is there a holy grail you're still after?
My holy grail, as far as things that I don't have, I gotta bring it up again, you know, Masters of the Universe Classics. I missed out on this line. There's so many that I don't have. Off the top of my head, Fisto. Fisto would be amazing. Webstore would be an amazing one to have. Triclops. I mean, I see these figures. I see these really talented toy photographers that have these figures, and I'm just incredibly jealous. So envious of you, Grayskull Warrior, Intangible Dandy.
Uh-oh, figure envy.
Yeah, well, I know the feeling. I still regret not picking up any characters from that Classics line.
He's a Scareglow fanboy.
I am.
So Brian, what got you into collecting in the first place?
You know, what got me into collecting in the first place is I got to bring it back to my dad. You know, when I was younger, he was a big card collector, and so on the weekends, maybe like every other weekend, we would go to like a Marriott or a Hyatt or whatever, and we'd go to these card shows. And I would just walk around with him and, you know, just have fun. They had toys and stuff sometimes, like there was stuff for me to do. And then he started sort of pointing me, you know, he's like, maybe there's something that you want to collect. So actually, the first things that I collected were actually cards. I had Marvel cards, G.I. Joe cards, old like NBA hoops basketball cards from back in the day. I don't know where those are, but I still have my Marvel X-Men cards, like I said, my G.I. Joe cards. Very proud of those. But while we were going to these card shows and stuff, he started collecting starting lineup. And then I started getting starting lineups, and over the years, like, you'd go down in his basement and he would have like on-card starting lineup figures like hanging from the ceiling and everything like that. And I just remember thinking that was so cool. And when I grow up, you know, I'm gonna have some sort of setup. Yeah, that's very much, thanks Dad, very much an influence on me.
Yes, thank you, Brian's dad.
Without you, who knows if we'd even have Brian's awesome toy photos to enjoy.
And speaking of Brian's awesome toy photos...
The transitions are getting better.
I know, right? We're gonna have him stick around for one of our favorite segments, Take Action Figures, where we interview an exceptional toy photographer.
Ooh, I like this segment.
Now soon these segments that we do will have their own videos, but since Brian's here, we're gonna do this segment now for old time's sake.
I liked it better when these were write-in interviews and I got to read the answers.
Well, you can ask the questions if you like.
That's not as much fun as assuming their identity. Brian, tell us about your toy photography and what got you into taking toy photos.
Well, I do toy photography. I'm a toy photographer for By the Bulb on Instagram. Been doing it for just over 4 years now. It started out, you know, I went back to college a little bit later, and I'm going to college with all these younger kids. They're telling me about this Instagram I got to get on. We're starting this podcast. And so I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll dive into that. You know, we'll see what it's all about. So, you know, I got an Instagram account. My idea was just to take pictures of my toys and use them for like promotional images for our podcast. And I, you know, I was just taking them on my cell phone and everything. And I, you know, we did it for about a month or so, and I really started to dive in and see what was out there, and just saw some of this amazing toy photography and these people, men and women, both just doing things with these toys, like basically making images that you had in your brain when you're, you know, a child, and outside, you know, when you're in like the sandbox or whatever, you're seeing in your mind like these elaborate like fight scenes and everything like that. And these people were just making that happen. And I had to immediately find out what was going on with that and how I could do that. And as I had mentioned before, with my the job that I was proud of at Stupid Buddy, it was just fortuitous. I got that at about the same time that I was, you know, seeing all this toy photography. So I learned some tricks. I'm no professional photographer. There are toy photographers that are out there that absolutely blow me out of the water and just have amazing talent. I've been fortunate enough to get some fans that just sort of dig my collection and dig, you know, my debris and fight scenes and everything like that. But yeah, in a roundabout way, that's what it became. It became what it is today because, you know, we started a podcast and I just wanted to take pictures of my toys, and then I saw that other people were just doing these amazing things, and I did my best to try to replicate that and make it my own.
That's very cool. One of my favorite things about toy photography is being inspired by other great toy photographers out there, like yourself.
Do you have any tips for toy photographers that are just starting out?
If you are interested in toy photography and you're just starting out, my suggestions, first of all, if you're getting into toy photography, you probably have a collection. So just enjoy your collection. Take pictures of what you have. Don't worry about what's out there. You know, take pictures of the stuff you grew up with. You know, get that feeling in your heart, you know, of being a kid again. Start there. You know, after that, obviously, like I said, check out other toy photographers out there. There are tons of super talented toy photographers out there that are really easy to find on Instagram. Just look hashtag like toy community or toy photography and have yourself a ball, because there are a ton of them out there and a lot of good stuff to learn from. There's also YouTube video tutorials, like if you're getting into like Photoshop with, you know, little special effects or however you want to edit your photo, lots of really good resources on YouTube to check out for that. Like I said, the most important thing is just have fun. If you're not having fun, then what's the point? Like, I know some people really get into the toy photography to the point where, you know, it almost seems like a job. I don't know, sometimes you gotta take a step back and realize why you're really doing it. If you ever stop having fun with anything, stop doing it. But if you are having fun, and keep doing it. And toy photography is really fun.
Now that's some good advice.
Brian, thanks again for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure talking toys with you.
Josh, Chipper, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. You can come back anytime.
Hey, we talked about flirting with the guests.
Don't be jealous. Brian, anything you want to say to the fans before you go?
Once again, like I said, my name's Brian Stoodley, toy photographer for By the Bulb. You can find us on Instagram at by_THE_BULB. We also have a podcast you can listen to. We've been doing it for like 5 years. It's just me and my college buddies talking about pop culture. We're film school students, so it's just sort of pretentious conversation. But we don't take ourselves too seriously. So if that's your thing, definitely check that out. We make announcements on Instagram, and you can find a link to it on there. Anyway, have fun, and if it brings you joy, collect the hell out of it.
Thanks, Brian. I couldn't have said it better myself.
We know.
Be sure to check out By the Bulb on Instagram for more of Brian's excellent toy photography. And check out the By the Bulb podcast for all things pop culture. I know you're going to love them, and there are links for both in the description below.
Guys, I finished writing my segment for Collector's Crotch.
That's our show, everyone. Thanks for watching.
Hey, what about the segment you promised me? Huh?
We'll talk about it later, alright? Just help us with the outro.
Okay. If you want to watch another toy collector interview, just click right here.
And if you want to watch one of our toy reviews where Josh tries really hard to have opinions about things, click right here.
Oh, and don't forget to click up here to subscribe.
Every time someone subscribes, a Scalper Bot's order gets canceled.
Oh, wow. Maybe I'll even subscribe. Alright, everyone. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there, and make it a good day.
Bye-bye.